Where this comes up, I think, for all of us most vividly, is in the amazing challenge we have in working with other people. It's just amazingly difficult, isn't it? And we obviously think that it must not be difficult for other people to work with us. That's obvious, but it's just difficult for us to work with other people, because where did they come from? And what the Sakyong says about working with others in ruling your world, he says, is that the reality is that we can't handle our anger, and we can't develop our patience, and we can't cultivate our wisdom without working with others. So instead of seeing all these hassles as a nuisance, we could start to begin to see them as a very deep training ground. A very deep training ground. And that training ground is extremely important for all of us, whether we're leaders or not, because the seed syllable of Shambhala is enlightened society. And that's a very important thing for us to grasp. That what Trungpa Rinpoche brought from the Himalayas on this perilous journey to the West was a notion of a different kind of society. And in his writings about the period that he went through then, he said, at the time that the Chinese army entered Tibet, at that moment, I held in my mind the vision that it must be possible to create a different human society. And all his efforts and all the efforts of his heir, the Sakyong, today are directed towards that goal. Of course, it doesn't mean that the notion of individual enlightenment is inferior or not relevant to us. But the Sakyong has repeatedly said over the years, he said, I have a belief in group enlightenment. That it is possible for a group of people to become enlightened. And in fact, that is the whole notion in the legend or myth or history, however you see it, of what happened in the kingdom of Shambhala. In the traditional teachings on the kingdom of Shambhala, it is said that after King Dawa Zangpo received this transmission from the Buddha and went back, the society as a whole, as he says in the Shambhala principle, was able to reach a higher level of consciousness. So this quality that we are all working on this together is how you can start to see that these points of friction, difficulty, frustration, all these things are part of making that possible.